And hello and welcome back for this Vasari PvP game in a 4v4 map. Welcome back everyone. Today we're going to be playing some Vasari. I'm going to, for me it's not today. I'm going to preface this by saying immediately that this isn't a live game. I played this game yesterday actually, and I've decided to try this new format where I do some videos where I kind of comment or narrate over some games that I've played, and hopefully that can still be entertaining to watch. You can tell me what you think of this format in the comment section, if you still think that this is entertaining, or if you prefer the live commentary. And in some ways I also prefer the live commentary here, but there are some small reasons why I've still decided to try out this format. I mean, first of all, sometimes when you're trying to record, when you're trying to play games and you're talking while you're playing, that can actually be quite mentally taxing. And sometimes you play these kind of long games, since of a Solar Empire 2, the games tend to become quite long, and this means that sometimes I end up talking for an hour plus, and it ends up not being a game that I feel would be entertaining to watch. So I do a lot of work for nothing, and then I try again and I talk for 1 hour plus again. And I end up talking for 2+ or maybe even 3+ hours straight by myself in a room while playing, and it's just very mentally taxing, and I just don't have it in me sometimes to keep talking. It's just not human. So yeah, like the Vasari, we're not human. It's not human. That didn't come out very well, but you get my point. It isn't I'm only human. I can only talk so much at the time, and so we're trying this format instead. So of course we're here. We're playing Vasari. It is Vasari Exodus. It is I've decided to try them out. I've actually tried playing Vasari a little bit, and I've kind of been toying around with it, with them in single player, just enough so that I kind of had a general sense of what's going on, what the research tree provides, what kind of research upgrades they have, and I know just enough to kind of get going. I feel like I still am very unclear about what order to get things, so I don't know when you should get what, when you should try to kind of focus on ships and so on. But I kind of figured once I looked at because I'm playing Vasari Exodus here. Vasari Exodus is kind of a douchebag race. they kind of play into this fantasy of being a very exploitative, nomadic, mobile alien race, which sort of invades, very invasive force in the galaxy. And playing into that fantasy, of course, we're gonna get a bunch of mobility, and we also get this really funny plant item, which is called Labor Camp. So you can see, if you're paying attention down in the menus here, you can see I build labor camps on this asteroid here already. So we're like the douchebags we're gonna oppress the population of these planets, and we're of course going to force them to do all the dirty work for us, while we're just sitting down on our chairs with the feet up on the table and just wait for them to give us that sweet minerals and metal and crystal. So that's gonna be very nice. And while looking here, I kind of the first few first like what do you call it, moments here in the game while we're just colonizing here. When taking a look at this research tree, I figured that, you know, Vasari Exodus, because I'm as I said, like, I'm very new to this. I'm still trying to learn it. But I was thinking that like to at least with Vasari Exodus, excuse me, we are going to not be having any credits, of course. So yeah, you probably already know this, but Vasari, of course, doesn't get credits like the tech does, but they just, at least not by conventional means. So they're just relying intrinsically on metal and crystal. And to get our economy going here in the early game, when looking at the research tree for tier 1, I figured that the sort of bulk of our early game economy is going to be the labor camps. So we're gonna try to get, that was my idea at least, we're just gonna try to get labor camps on each of our planets. And then we're also gonna get the orbital extractors. So we're gonna try to get some orbital extractors on each of our planets here that we can. And of course, we should, and with a preference, might I add, to crystal extractors, because Vasari definitely has some crystal problems in the early game, and you should now, like, if you have paid attention to the resources up here that I have here, now it seems like I have some reserve crystal, but like, yeah, trust me, once you get going with like your research, that crystal bank is gonna disappear very, very, very fast. So in the early game here, we have some nice crystal reserves, but once the game goes on, we're definitely want to get that crystal economy going by any means necessary. We want to build those crystal extractors on our asteroids, on our ice planets. We want to get that going. And also, of course, upgrading the surface mining on our planets here to get even more mining income. And as Vasari, we are of course starting with a couple of more exotics than we do with tech. I'm not sure what's the deal with Advent, but I'm pretty sure that Advent doesn't get a bunch of exotics early game either. I think that's a Vasari exclusive thing. But when looking at the resources here, you can actually see from the beginning that we have just enough exotics here to get to 3 capital ships, at least. So we're gonna have enough exotics to get 3 capital ships in total. And my goal for this game was basically just to try to rush that. So I thought that, well, we're gonna get 3 capital ships here in the beginning and try to use those to colonize. And you can see now that I kind of, yeah, I've already built 3 capital ships. I have my second here, and my third one is on the way. I've gone up to 300 supply. I like to hit that 300 supply as soon as possible. That first upgrade max supply as early as possible. Mainly because, you know, you might run into an aggressive opponent, and in that case, it is very nice to have a couple of ships ready, just to kind of be able to match them. But kind of for your own good as well. I mean, the more ships you have, the faster and more efficiently you're of course going to deal with the neutral militia. So it really just helps a lot with your colonization to get that early supply up as quickly as possible. And I actually tend to prioritize that a lot. Usually when looking at when looking at like post-game screens and so on, I noticed that I tend to go to that 250 supply, or sorry, 300 supply in the case of Vasari, very early on in the game. So, and I actually really like that, of course, because it helps you deal with the neutral militia. And you can see here, like, my main goal for this game, like I didn't have any particular goal in mind, or I had one desire, I think. Right now I'm just like trying to get to a point where I can like learn the race, but I had one desire, and that was that I wanted really badly to make Orkulus Starbases. Oh yeah, you can see here too, like now I'm preparing for some orbital extractors here on my asteroids. I'm trying to get the crystal extractors going so that we can get that crystal economy booming. But yeah, my desire for this game was just that I really wanted to, you know, get the Orkulus Starbases for the Vasari. I just think that the Orkulus Starbase is such a cool building. It's just a really cool starbase. Really iconic. I love that it can move, contrary to all of the starbases of the other races. It is mobile. It can even face jump to other planets once you upgrade that. It's just really awesome. I really like it. It's really cool. It just looks really cool as well. Just an amazing design. And my hope was actually that we were going to get to build a starbase this game, and perhaps even get the offensive deployment upgrade so that we could deploy starbases in enemy gravity wells. And as you can see, we're actually gonna get to do that this game, which was really awesome, really fun, really cool. Just and my kind of worry here in the early game, you can see I'm kind of colonizing decently here. I have 7 planets, and I'm about to bomb this Aluxian planet here to get yet another one. So I'm doing decently on colonization here. I'm also planning, I'm gonna just, yeah, no, let's see if I zoom out here in a second, but I have 7 planets. I'm gonna go up to maybe, once I get the planets that I'm planning to get here, I'm probably gonna go up to like 9 planets. You can see here, I'm just gonna pause for a second. You can see, if you look, there's like a volcanic planet here and a primordial planet here. And my thought is, once I get those, I'm of course going to go up to like 9 planets, which is a pretty nice count. You can do a lot with 9 planets. That's gonna support, definitely support your mid-game army, and perhaps even your late-game army. Once you get very late into the game, you maybe want to have even more planets there, but yeah, of course 9 planets is definitely going to sustain you for a long time into the game. So that's really the goal here. And of course, as Vasari, we want to have as many planets as possible. Since I'm a tech player, you know, I'm kind of used to getting a pretty good economy with like my buildings and stuff, and it's much more difficult with Vasari to get a good economy unless you have more planets. So really nice that we can get a bunch of planets here. And yeah, just to reiterate, this is a 4v4 game. We're on the flank position, facing up against our yellow player here. And since like 4v4, since it's a 4v4 map, that means that there's usually going to be a lot of a bunch of planets available. Now I have 2 of my capital ships and a bunch of ships ready up here in the top here, and I'm going to send my starting capital ship, the evacuator, to capture these final planets in the bottom before I tell them to join up with my main army. My biggest worry this game, like I played a couple of games against real players before this, and one of the games I just got absolutely destroyed. I was absolutely humbled by my opponent, and my biggest worry this game was that the same thing was going to happen, and probably I wasn't like, because I was really worried that I wasn't going to have enough ships to just match my opponent. You can see now it's 23 minutes into the game. I haven't upgraded into military 2 yet, which is quite bad. Like, I really would like to get into, or sorry, it's not military 2 with Vasari. Yeah, it's actually named, what's it called? It's called Warfare 2, right? Yeah, Empire Research and Warfare Research, right? Right. And of course, you want to get to that Warfare Tier 2 with Vasari so that you can get your fleet in order. You can get more ships. And my kind of general plan, I'm kind of going in the path here in the beginning at least that I've seen a lot of other Vasari players do, which is that they start by building a couple of defensors, Sulsurak defensors in the early game, and then they transition into Karnak assailants, the missile shooters, and they build a bunch of those, and then they also build. And then they kind of transition into oppressors, the Cortovas oppressors, once the game goes on. I've kind of scouted Yellow here. I've seen that his army isn't in this planet right next to mine, or adjacent to mine. So I decided to like try and pressure him here a little bit. I'm gonna go in with my ships. I'm gonna try to just see if, like, I'm just ready. I'm just doing this to be a little bit annoying. I'm really ready to dib at any moment. I know that my army isn't the best here. And you can actually, I actually notice here that Yellow has his army right next to the ice planet where I'm jumping. So, and I see, yeah, he's Vasari. He has a bunch of missile shooters, the Karnak assailants. And I have, of course, not even researched those yet, which makes me kind of uncomfortable. It means that his military research is better than mine. So I'm kind of, I get scared, I jump back right away. But now we are getting into the military, or sorry, the warfare research level 2, which is very nice. And since we are, I'm just going to go for some research rate here too, because of course otherwise it's just going to take very long to get our research done. Yeah, and here I'm just checking some orbits. I'm not sure how the planet orbits are going to look like in a couple of minutes here, so I'm just checking for that. One thing to make note of here, I was kind of just trying to figure out in this game kind of how you should think about the research points with Vasari, because you can get planet items with Vasari, I noticed. And some of these planet items, a lot of them cost exotics. So you can get planet items which cost exotics, and those give you kind of a lot of research points. So for instance, on your home planet, you can get this item, this planet item costs Tauronite, and it gives three military research points, which is a lot. Like, that's a lot in the early game. You can pretty much just get that, and you can spec into Warfare level 2 right away. So that's really, really nice, although you need exotics to build it, of course. Sorry, I just need to take a sip of coffee here.
Research rate upgrade complete.
Ah, that's really good. That's really good. I hope you drink coffee too. Otherwise you're missing out, definitely. Trying to get some military research here too. Trying to upgrade some ships. Now it's 31 minutes into the game. I'm actually starting to get worried that, or I'm actually starting to feel like this is very, very bad that I don't have a bigger army. Like, I'm just at 300 supply at this point, which is a really, really low. Which is a really, really low number of ships. Like, any dedicated player here who was playing aggressive would just run me over. But luckily for me, like, these players weren't playing very aggressive, which gave us a chance to kind of compensate for our inexperienced, sloppy early game here. And it allowed us to kind of build up to do some stuff still. And as you will see, we're gonna, like, how our opponent played, we were allowed to have a lot of fun in this game. So we're going to, of course, be getting the Starbases eventually. Now, one other thing about the Vasari, which is kind of critical to know, is that, of course, you get with Advent and Tech. Sorry, excuse me. With Advent and Tech, you get the respective, like if you look at the upgrades which gives fleet supply, they give, so for both Advent and Tech, you get 250 supply at tier 1 of the military, the respective military researches. And with Vasari, and also they get in tier 2 they get 500 and 1,000 supply upgrades respectively. However, with Vasari, you get to 600 supply at tier 2 warfare research, but you don't get up to 1,000 supply. So you're actually at a disadvantage at that point in the game as Vasari. You don't get the fleet supply upgrades to 1,000 that the other races have. So in order to catch up in the fleet supply upgrades here with the Vasari, you're gonna need to get to warfare level 3 research, because in warfare level 3 you do get the final upgrades. I've kind of been camping here at this volcanic planet for a while, and I noticed here on the side that our blue player, our opponent here, is trying to go for this. He's kind of colonizing fast, this blue player, and he's colonizing towards the center. And this blue player is kind of trying to capture this crystalline planet. The blue Advent player here is trying to capture this crystalline planet. I scouted him. I kind of noticed that his army wasn't like the best. It's kind of small too. So I decided to go in here and pressure him a little bit. And our armies are quite evenly matched. So, but I just wanted to test the waters here. Luckily for me, he kind of chickens out, so I don't even have to prove my worth here to this Advent player. I just get to get this planet for free. At this point, I started to think that maybe I should get some face resonance too. That's another thing about the Vasari that's really cool. You get these face resonance points, which are kind of fleet-wide buffs. I wouldn't recommend going for too many of those in the early game, because being the fleet-wide buffs that they are, they gain more and more value as time goes on. So once you reach that mid to late game, those, what do you call them? Those face resonance buffs are going to be more and more impactful. I'm actually, since I'm Vasari, I can get the upgrades to colonize crystalline planets right in Empire 1 upgrade. So I just realized this during the game, which was really nice. I'm just really used to playing Tech, and Tech can't colonize crystalline planets until they get to tier 3 civilian research, so it's a huge difference. But now as Vasari, I can just colonize it right away, so that was really cool. I was really happy to see that. And looking at this, now Yellow is coming into this planet. He is trying to put some pressure onto me. Of course, he saw that I was driving Blue away on this crystalline planet, so he decides to try and capitalize on this. I have a couple of ships here. I have a couple of non-assembly factories. I'm building corvettes. I'm building these missile shooter guys. And I feel quite comfortable about defending this. However, I want to wait for my entire army to be here. I don't want to send like ships in one at a time, so I wait a little bit with engaging. And once he sees the magnitude of my army here, he is going to run away. He does manage to get all of my turrets though, which is a bummer. It's kind of yeah, those turrets are quite a bit of an investment still. So it was very nice of him to kind of go in and try to punish me for that. And at this point, you see now I'm up at 600 supply here. I can't get any more ships until I get tier 3 military, which is why I'm trying to go for tier 3 military here. And then now you can see both blue and yellow are kind of up in my up in my stuff to try to pressure me here on both sides. And now I'm kind of being forced to run back and forth. I kind of expect yellow to come in here again once he sees me going to try to deal with blue here, who is once again coming into this crystalline planet here on the towards the center of the map, trying to pressure me. And since my white fellow teammate here isn't really, I think the colonization pattern wasn't too great for him. There was like an Aluxian planet in the way, which meant that he couldn't get to me as fast to kind of help. So I'm kind of stuck in a 2v1 here for the time being, and I'm just trying to. Oh, and yeah, look at this. This is an absolutely incredible thing that you can get in Empire 2 as Vasari, which is extended range sensors. I think this is just really strong. It gives you you can detect all phase lane movements at like 2 jumps away from your planet. And I think this is just incredibly powerful. This is incredibly powerful as an information gathering tool. Like I'm used to playing tech, of course, and with tech you can get this type of upgrade, but it also requires you to have a lab on your planet, and yeah, so you need both like the phase lane detection and you need a lab on your planet. With Vasari, you can just get this upgrade and you just see whatever jumps are 2 jumps away from your planet. It's just really powerful. It gives you a lot of information for free. It's really nice. So I go in to attack blue here. He has a bunch of Tempest vessels, which I kind of notice here, because Tempest vessels just annihilate corvettes. So you don't want to get too many corvettes against Tempest vessels. I noticed that my corvettes are just dying and they're not really doing anything, so I try to pull them away. The Karnak assailants can actually fight the Tempest vessels much better. So that's why I'm trying to pull away the corvettes to not have them die for free and try to fight with other ships instead. He ends up running away again, and now of course I'm fully expecting yellow to jump in to pressure me on my planet again. And the phase lanes change here, which means that I can't jump back to my volcanic planet right away. I need to jump 2 times here. And what do you know, I'm pretty sure here that yellow is about to show up. I think he is about to show up here. But in any case, I go for the final fleet upgrade so that I can get my entire fleet going. And you can look, if you see here, like you can see here just very quickly on my planet menu here, you can see I've kind of tried to get at least 1 logistics upgrade on each of my planets, and I've tried to build at least 2 orbital extractors on each planet, maybe even more. Maybe I'm a little bit too biased on crystal here, but you can see like I do have a kind of deficiency of crystal, so I do think it's justified. It's kind of nice to get as many crystal extractors as possible. But this is kind of how I view the economic game here with Vasari. You get a bunch of orbital extractors, you have the surface mining upgrades, and also the labor camps, given that you're playing Vasari Exodus. So we just keep trying to eco up here. I'm gonna get 2 refineries. Yeah, and here you see, what do you know? Yellow is of course jumping in here, kind of expected it, so now my army is kind of ready to face him here. For some reason my ships kind of jump in another direction here, so my ships kind of go in kind of an awkward pathing here. Some of my ships, because of the phase lanes changing. So now some of my ships are going to jump to Blue's planet over here, which is going to be kind of not too great, because now, as you can see, a lot of my ships here are just gonna take a lot of punishment while trying to travel through Blue's planet to defend my volcanic planet that's currently being attacked by Yellow. And overall this is just not too great, and Blue's army of course is not too shabby, so we're gonna take a lot of damage here. But of course I'm stuck here in a 2v1, so it's kind of to be expected that I take punishment either way. And now I'm jumping in, and of course at this point I feel like, okay, just psychologically speaking, Blue is kind of hitting me with a lot of what he has here. I'm kind of running away from him, and so psychologically speaking, it's very likely that he's going to try to follow me here. Especially since he sees that Yellow is here on this side. And like I kind of know that, I mean, if Blue comes after me here, I can't really engage these guys because it's 2v1. Like my army is probably decent enough to like perhaps deal with one of their armies. But dealing with two of them at the same time isn't really possible. So yeah, you see, now Blue comes in after me. So I can't really do anything to defend this volcanic planet now. I decide to just retreat. And since I was very excited, I've already tried to research the Starbases. So now I'm gonna try to get my first Starbase here. And I kind of have some looming ideas of getting the assault deployment upgrade already here to try and get to deploy some Starbases at my opponent's planets. I kind of get stuck here. It wasn't the best pathing here. I should have tried to avoid this, but and one of my, like my first capital ship here, my what's it called, the evacuator, is going to end up going down, which feels bad, you know. It's always really it always feels really bad to lose one of your capital ships. It really sucks. So yeah, one of my capital ships end up going down. And I pray to God here that they are very slow about following me, because I know that by myself I can't really do anything against them. So I'm kind of hoping here that they're gonna stay for a while at my volcanic planet up here to try and capture it, and not really worry about chasing me. And luckily for me, they actually do end up doing that. So that means that I have time to get my Starbase up and running, and perhaps I can hold this for a while, at least 2v1 with the Starbase, and perhaps buy some time for my white teammate here to get up to me and try to help me. So I'm really happy about seeing that. I'm really happy seeing that they are trying to get this volcanic planet instead of chasing me, of course. And I'm trying to get my factories built up on some other planet so that I can keep reinforcing my army. Alright. So, let me just take another sip of coffee here to rest my throat a little bit.
Research rate upgrade complete. Research complete.
And our Starbase is building, which is very nice. Just very nice. And we have our factories on the crystalline planet right next to our asteroid. And the asteroid is, of course, a choke point. And now we reach this point in the game where we're gonna go into kind of a stalemate here. I'm gonna get my Starbase up and running. And we have this very important choke point asteroid here, which I've kind of established a Starbase on, or it's going to be established very shortly. And what's going to end up happening now is there's going to be a stalemate for a while. They're not really going to be able to, but they're not, at least they're not going to dare to attack me for a while. So what's going to happen here is quite boring stuff. We're just going to stand here and build our ships. So yeah, we're going to build our ships here for a little bit before anything happens. Yeah, and you can see, like, I can see phase jumps here close to their planets, which is very, very nice. My starbase is ready. I'm gonna send it in to kind of position it better in case they were about to attack. And I also built some regeneration base to make it a little bit tankier, get some turrets. My white friend here isn't quite here yet, but hopefully he's gonna show up soon, and my starbase will likely buy it some time in that case to allow my friend to help me eventually. Alright, I haven't really paid attention to what's going on the other side of the map here. Yeah, you can see I even write here that I may need help on this asteroid because of course I see that yellow and blue are kind of gathering their army together on this volcanic planet right next to it. And I mean, I do have a starbase, but if they both jump in together, it's gonna be a very difficult, hold here for sure. Like the starbase isn't going to be enough to hold two armies. It's just not gonna be enough, I think. And especially if they have like, given that they have like 1,000 supply each, or like 2,000 supply or something like that, it's just gonna be very difficult to defend. So I kind of need white's help here eventually to hold. But in any case, now we're of course just gonna get into this. As I said, we're gonna get into this kind of stalemate situation here, where I'm just, trying to get some upgrades going. I'm gonna try to get my army in order. I'm gonna build some more ships. Yeah, hopefully I'm going to be able to contest these guys eventually. So while we're in this stalemate here, I think that since there's not too much going on here, we're just gonna skip over to a little bit later here when this stalemate is about to break. So see you there. Alright, so here we are. And yeah, you can see, I've kind of noticed that Blue's army left. You can see, since I have the information from the phase jump gathering here, it's just very, very nice. So I see that Blue's army left. I've kind of built my ships here. I decide to try and break the stalemate together with White. I kind of tell White, okay, going in to try to get Yellow's planet here. I'm even pinging it. And I'm hoping that White is going to help me. I've even, yeah, you can see I've even gotten to military 4 here, which is very, very nice. I've even researched assault deployment for my starbases, which is going to make it much easier, or make it much faster for me to deploy starbases in enemy gravity wells. And you can see, like, I jump in here. And I was very, very lucky here, because right as I jump in, for some reason, Yellow decides to jump to my planet. So I was just very, very lucky here with the timing. And now my army is just completely uncontested here. So I can just keep fighting him here for a while before his army comes here. And of course, Yellow is going to jump to my planet, but he's gonna be like greeted by this Orkulus Starbase here, which is gonna be very annoying for him. I mean, of course he could probably deal with this Starbase, but it's gonna take a long, long time, and I don't think, like, yeah, I don't think it's viable for him to stay and try to fight this Starbase while I'm also attacking his planet. So yeah, now I'm just deciding to try and bomb this planet. And what I've done is, you can see, like, to deploy starbases on enemy planets, you have to build this item on your capital ships. and you have to send your capital ships with the item. And the item here on your capital ships is going to allow the capital ships to deploy a starbase on either a neutral or enemy gravity well. And you can see I've kind of split off. You see my evacuator is heading to this other ice planet right next to the volcanic planet here. And I have the starbase item on it, so I'm kind of planning to make... So this is really, really fun. I'm kind of like, yeah, this is gonna be really cool. I'm gonna have my main army here fighting his army, and then I'm gonna like send in my evacuator here to his ice planet and try to deploy a starbase here. Just be really, really annoying. So yeah, and this was just, this is just the beginning of this very, very fun sequence. Like, I really got the feel of how Vasari can feel to play. When you get down to it, like, you have this very invasive playstyle. You can see now I get the starbase here developed on this planet, and yeah, I actually send my. I was thinking about sending my capital ships to the next planet, but I wasn't actually sure if I accidentally built my starbase too close to his turrets, so I kind of ended up trying to leave my, what's it called? Oh yeah, I think maybe yellow even disconnected here, but that's fine. So yeah, I think I ended up like leaving my capital ship there to kind of protect my starbase, and in case it was accidentally sent into the I'm not sure if it was yellow who left, but okay. But yeah, I wanted my capital ship to take the focus away from my starbase at least. And now yellow, or sorry, blue of course, is gonna try to come in here for a counterattack, while I am busy here with trying to get something done against yellow. But I'm constructing my starbase here. I'm just feeling really good. It's really fun. And you can see white is gonna actually go. I see that white is going to go back to try to defend my planet against blue, and because of that, I kind of decided that okay, I don't want to go back and defend here. I actually want to try to keep invading his territory. So I'm going to send my army here into blue's territory and try to counterattack blue while white is defending. And you can see my starbase is buying a lot of time here against the blue's army. White has a titan here, but since it's alone, it's kind of forced to jump away. But yeah, in any case, now we're getting to this point, and this was such a fun part of the game for me, because you see now I have like two separate armies. I have this lone evacuator here who's kind of trying to develop a starbase. The starbase has been constructed, so now the starbase is just gonna destroy all of the buildings here on yellow's territory. And now I feel like, okay, so because blue is attacking me, he has his entire army here on this side. I decide that, well, if blue is attacking me here, I'm just gonna go counterattack his planets. And that's hopefully going to be very nice. So you see, I'm even ignoring this asteroid here, the yellow's asteroid, to try to go for blue's planets. And I'm gonna send in like a small little defense force here. It was just a try. I mean, this didn't really make too much of a difference here. Blue's army is too great, so I'm not really gonna be able to defend there either way. But in any case, I don't really care. I'm gonna go for blue's planets here instead, and hopefully force blue, since he's playing Advent, to use recall to kind of force him to chicken out from attacking me and try to defend instead. And we keep researching. I kind of forego. I didn't really. Oh, and I think Master. Yeah, I think Master of Shadow was actually my white teammate. So I think my teammate also disconnected. So now it's kind of an even game here again, I think, because my teammate disconnected and their yellow player also disconnected. So now it's kind of me versus blue here on this side. And here you can see I'm kind of trying to kind of invade this. So I have my evacuator here trying to kind of bomb yellow's planets to get these planets back here. And then I also have my main army, which is trying to attack blue's ships, or sorry, blue's planets. Now, if I remember correctly, I didn't even, like, Vasari Exodus has this really iconic abilities, which is called Strip to the Core. So you can, you know, destroy your own planets for a huge number of resources. And also, like, have this mobile rulership upgrade where you can survive without any planets as long as your Titan remains alive. But I didn't end up getting any of those upgrades. I was kind of busy with doing other stuff. Someone decided to send a pirate raid to my home planet, which I wasn't really prepared for. But luckily this game, Homeworld Victory, is actually off. So even if my home planet ends up going down here, which I think it did actually, because I had a Starbase queued there, but it wasn't. I queued it a little bit too late, so it didn't manage to build before the planet went down. I tried to defend anyways, but it didn't help. But luckily, since it's not Homeworld Victory on here, I ended up surviving still, so I didn't really need to worry about my home planet as much as I would otherwise have to. And you can see now my main army is kind of invading blue's territory here, which is really, really nice. I also have, I think I'm kind of starting to get the phase resonance points now to try to get the mobility upgrades. I do think that one of the things that you really kind of want to do as Vasari, if you're getting the phase resonance, you should have like a strong bias towards getting the mobility upgrades with the phase resonance, because the mobility is just so nice. It allows you to be like very, very slippery as Vasari. It allows your army to just move around very, very fast. If someone comes and tries to get your army, you can basically just run, and your ships are going to be so fast that yeah, unless they have phase jump inhibitors, you're just going to be able to jump from planet to planet, and they're not going to be able to catch your army basically ever. So that really allows you to control the pace of the fights, or sorry, maybe not the pace, but where the fights take place. And this is kind of what I'm doing here. You see, like now I have 3 armies. So I have like 3 army groups. I have like 1 main army, and then I have 2 smaller, like small fleets of ships. And I'm kind of trying to kind of send them all around to try to bomb planets. And this is very annoying, because they have to keep track of 3 attacks at once all around. And you can see I'm kind of sending a bunch of ships around to random planets, bombing them. And blue is kind of just having a difficult time dealing with it. And you see, of course, now blue, I jumped in here at kind of a bad time, but blue was forced to recall. So he used his unit ability recall to get the ships back to his home planet, because yeah, I was pressuring so much here, and he didn't double down on trying to attack my planets. He decided to recall to try to defend instead, which I'm not sure was the correct call. But now you can see, like, I haven't even upgraded the phase resonance all the way with the mobility yet, but you're going to see here, like, my ships are going to be super duper fast, and blue is going to try to chase me, but since my ships are so fast, it's just really, really difficult for him to It's gonna be really, really difficult for him to catch me here. And we're just gonna keep invading this territory. You see now we have starbases on his planets. We have this really fast army here. It's gonna get some of these ships perhaps, but not too much. We have smaller armies here that are just bombing these planets. This was just a very good time for me in the game. Of course, it was just really, really fun running his army around trying to get these planets. So yeah, I decided to get some more starbases here. In case he tries to chase me, he's gonna have to like chase me through a bunch of starbases, which is gonna be even more annoying. And now I try, since I realize, oh shit, like my army is actually so fast, so this phase resonance stuff is actually quite cool. I decide to kind of, oh yeah, let's get more of that. Let's get more phase resonance. So now I start building phase resonators on my planets. I want to get that mobility upgrades. I want to get even more mobility upgrades for my fleet. And I keep running my army. Blue is just chasing my army around here. But of course it's just very, very annoying. And now I'm just trying to remax. Yeah, building some more capital ships, building some more oppressors. My fleet is decent. And I'm buying a lot of time for my teammates. Like, I think that Blue made this Blue should have probably just gone for my planet instead of recalling. Because chasing my army around like this is kind of... it is kind of a fruitless effort, because yeah, of course my ships are so fast. So now I'm kind of shaking his army off. I get the final mobility upgrades, so now I'm gonna be even more difficult to catch. I'm gonna be even more difficult to catch here. My fleet is just gonna be super duper fast. I have a starbase here. I'm just gonna keep running around. I tell my ships to bomb this planet. We're just gonna get more and more planets here. Alright, and here we are. We are closing in on Blue's army here. Since home planet victory isn't on, we kind of have to skip here a little bit to not drag on this game for too long. But we are about to jump in to finish off Blue's army here. So we're about to have the final fight. This was a really fun game, of course. We got a lot of time and opportunities to experiment. We didn't get to build the phase gates, we didn't get to build the strip to the core upgrades or anything like that. I kind of was busy doing other things, but we got to build a lot of phase resonance points. We got to build a couple of star bases, and we just got to have a lot of fun. And at this point, we also have this the combat upgrades for the phase resonance, which allows our phase missiles to bypass shields. So they have at least a chance to bypass shields. And that is of course very nice against Advent, because Advent relies much more on shields. So here we are. We're sending in our army here to try to finish Blue's army off. I'm feeling quite confident here. I'm using the micro phase jump with my Titan here, and I feel like, yeah, his Titan is level 7. It looks kind of scary, but my army is so great, so I probably win anyway. So I'm just gonna try to focus it. So we end up focusing his Titan here. I feel like I can get away with that. I feel like my army is large enough so that we can get away with focusing his main ship here. So we're kind of shooting his Titan here. You can see our army is actually going to kill it very, very fast. And once his Titan dies, I mean, the rest of his ships isn't really going to do much. He doesn't have enough, basically. I mean, the Advent fleet, I think, is very, very strong in the late game. Probably, like, even stronger in a straight-up fight. I mean, that's my suspicion, at least, is that the Advent fleet is... Yeah, and you can see the Maw is just sucking up all of these ships. Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. Yeah, the Maw is just sucking up all of these ships. Ah, that's so beautiful. Yeah. So, but I think that the Advent fleet, actually in a large clump, can actually beat the Vasari fleet, because at least that's how I feel like it should be, because the Advent is kind of their entire theme is like having synergy, a bunch of synergistic abilities between their ships, and this is supposed to make their army the strongest, like when they're clumped together as a large unit. So I feel like thematically it would make sense that the Advent fleet kind of beats all of the other fleets in a heads-up engagement in a 1 versus 1 fight, given that, yeah, everyone has their ships in one and the same place. So yeah, just thematically I think that makes sense. And yeah, you can see we killed his home planet here. He doesn't basically have any planets left. We're just gonna bomb his planet to death here for the nice win. And we end up winning. So it was a really fun game. I hope you liked this. You can tell me, once again, tell me in the comment section whether you how this format works, whether it's still entertaining to watch, or if you prefer some other format. I thought it was fun to make, at least, and yeah, I hope you had fun watching it. So yeah, that's enough for now. So see you in the next video.